slightly pensive yet warm opening tone. Have you ever felt like the odd one out in your own family? The one who just doesn't quite fit the mold. For me, that wasn't just a feeling. It was my reality, especially when it came to family weddings. Growing up, I was always a little different. While my cousins were planning their lives around white picket fences and traditional ceremonies, I was off chasing my own version of a fairy tale, one filled with art, travel, and a healthy dose of nonconformity. My family loves tradition. They love the matching bridesmaid dresses, the same old reception hall, the predictable first dance song. And me? I loved them, but I couldn't pretend to be someone I wasn't. My different taste in music, my unconventional career as a freelance artist, even my colorful wardrobe, all made me stick out. And so, the wedding invitations stopped coming. It started subtly. An aunt would say, "Oh, it's just a small affair, you wouldn't enjoy it." Then a cousin would say, "We're trying to keep the guest list tight." It hurt a lot. It felt like a quiet confirmation that who I wasn't good enough, that my differentness was a flaw that needed to be hidden away from their picture-perfect events. I spent years feeling like a ghost at my own family gatherings, present, but not truly seen or included. I remember one time, I saw photos from my cousin Sarah's wedding pop up on social media. Everyone was there. My aunts, uncles, all the cousins. They were all smiling in their coordinated pastel outfits. I wasn't even told it was happening. I called my mom, trying to keep my voice steady, and asked why I wasn't invited. She just sighed and said, "Honey, you know how they are. They wanted a very traditional wedding and, well, you just don't fit that picture." Those words stung more than any outright rejection. It wasn't about me being a bad person. It was about my very essence being inconvenient for their aesthetic. For a long time, I let that feeling define me. I second-guessed my choices, my style, everything. I wondered if I should just try to blend in, to smooth down my own edges to make them more comfortable. But every time I tried, it felt like I was betraying myself. Then, I met Leo. He didn't see me as different. He saw me as me. He loved my art, laughed at my quirky jokes, and encouraged my wildest ideas. With him, I never felt like I had to tone myself down. When he proposed, it wasn't with a diamond ring in a velvet box, but with a hand-carved wooden locket during a hike at sunrise. It was perfect. And as we started talking about our wedding, a wave of anxiety washed over me. The old fears crept back in. What would my family think? Would they even come? Would they whisper behind their hands about how unconventional it all was? Leo listened patiently, held my hand, and then he said something that changed everything. "This isn't their wedding. This is our wedding. It should be a celebration of us, exactly as we are." He was right. Why was I still trying to win the approval of people who had consistently excluded me? This was my chance, our chance, to redefine what a wedding could be. It wasn't about proving a point or getting revenge. It was about creating a day that was an authentic reflection of our love and our lives. So we decided to throw out the traditional wedding rulebook entirely. The first decision was the venue. No stuffy hotel ballroom for us. We found a beautiful rustic art gallery with exposed brick walls and huge windows. It was a blank canvas, ready for us to fill with our story. Instead of a formal seated dinner, we hired a fleet of our favorite food trucks. One for tacos, one for gourmet pizza, and one for artisanal ice cream sandwiches. We wanted our guests to mingle, to eat what they wanted, when they wanted. We wanted it to feel like a party, a festival of love, not a rigid, scheduled event. The dress code? Come as your most fabulous self. We wanted color, sparkle, and personality, not a sea of beige and navy blue. For my dress, I knew a big white gown wasn't me. I worked with a local designer to create a gown in a deep emerald green velvet. It was unconventional, but it felt like me. Leo wore a custom-tailored burgundy suit. We looked like us, and that was the most important thing. Instead of a traditional bouquet, I carried a lantern filled with fairy lights. Our altar was a huge canvas where we and our guests, added brushstrokes of color throughout the night, creating a collaborative piece of art that now hangs in our living room. It's a constant reminder of the love and support that surrounded us that day. Now for the family part. I knew I had to invite them. Despite everything, they were still my family. But this time, I wasn't seeking their approval. I sent out invitations that were hand-painted, reflecting the artistic theme of the wedding. On the invitation, I wrote a short, honest note. It said, "This day is a celebration of love and authenticity. We would be honored if you would join us, but we understand if our style isn't for you. Your happiness is important to us regardless of your attendance." I was setting a boundary. I was saying, this is who we are. You are welcome to celebrate with us, but we will not change for you. To my surprise, most of them came. I think they were curious, maybe a little skeptical. As they walked in, I could see the looks of confusion on some of their faces. Where were the assigned seats? The string quartet? But then something amazing happened. They started to relax. They saw the joy, the laughter, the genuine fun everyone was having. My uncle, who I'd only ever seen in a stiff suit, was in line for a taco, laughing with one of my friends from art school. My cousin Sarah, whose perfect wedding I missed, came up to me and said, "This is incredible. I've never been to a wedding where everyone is having this much fun." I was so stressed on my day. The highlight of the night was our first dance. Instead of a slow swaying number, we had choreographed a fun, upbeat routine to our favorite indie pop song. Halfway through, we pulled everyone onto the dance floor. The sight of my entire family, from my stoic grandfather to my youngest cousins, dancing with our friends under the gallery lights, painting on the community canvas and laughing with ice cream in their hands, it was more than I could have ever dreamed of. It was unforgettable. They didn't just attend our wedding. They participated in it. They experienced it. In the end, by refusing to conform, we created something that was more inclusive than any of the traditional weddings I'd been excluded from. We showed them that a celebration of love doesn't have one size fits all. It's not about the right dress or the right venue. It's about the joy and authenticity of the moment. Some family relationships are still a work in progress, but that day opened the door. They saw me, truly saw me and my husband, for who we are. And they saw that our different wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was something beautiful. My wedding wasn't an act of rebellion. It was an act of self-love. And it turned out to be the most memorable family gathering we've ever had. So if you've ever felt like you're on the outside looking in, please remember this. Your uniqueness is your strength. Don't ever dim your light to fit into someone else's narrow view of what is normal. Create your own celebrations, define your own happiness, and build your own traditions. The people who truly love you will be there, ready to dance with you. Thanks so much for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, I'd love it if you hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Leave a comment below and tell me about a time you chose to honor your own unique path. I can't wait to read your stories. Until next time.